Good morning. We're good on Facebook. I'm going to get Instagram rolling. All right. We're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Dr. Alexis Morgan, and I am one of the two lead faculty for clinical management of the fitness athlete, pregnancy, and postpartum, where we have both online courses and live coming at you next year. This morning, we're going to talk about back pain, specifically for our pregnant people. I'm going to let everyone kind of get rolling in here. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Spend some good time with your families this weekend. I know we did. Now it's going to take me about a week or so to recover from all the food that I ate. But worth it to be with family. All right, let's get rolling here. So, pregnancy and back pain. It's one of my favorite topics. Partially because the prevalence is so high. There are reports up to 85% of pregnant people are going to experience low back pain at some point during their pregnancy. It's extremely prevalent. But not only is it prevalent, I mean, we kind of all expect for pregnant people to have some discomfort somewhere. So we kind of understand that. But the problem is that many of them don't tell their physicians and they don't seek care. They don't get referred to someone who can help them. And the problem with that is it leads to obviously a decreased quality of life. Depending on where they're at in their pregnancy, if they're in their late first, early second trimester, that's still another 6 or so months of back pain. And what are we basically asking for when we're giving someone 6 months of pain, right? That's persistent pain. We've got to get it addressed early, and we know that in the general population. But for some reason, when it comes to pregnancy, when there's a pregnant person in front of us, we get nervous. We get scared. Oh no, what can I do? What can't I do? That's not my thing. I'm not going to help. I can't help. Or, in the greater medical community, like, oh, that's a pregnant person. We can't do anything about it. Sorry. And it can lead to persistent pain in a lot of individuals. And then one of the other kind of shocking facts about this is that some people who are having this debilitating low back pain, they're actually getting early inductions or early C-sections just to try to get out of the pain and discomfort that they're in from their back pain. So there is a population here that needs our skill set. They need someone who can help them get out of their back pain or at least reduce it so that they can do the things that they love and need to do throughout the remainder of their pregnancy. And so kind of within both the general population and the medical community, there's really 3 persisting myths that exist surrounding pregnancy back pain. And we're going to this morning dispel all 3 of them. So there's 1, the relaxin myth, 2, the weight gain myth, and then 3, the it'll go away myth. So we're going to dive into each one of those, starting with relaxin. It's the number one, like if someone has back pain or someone's pregnant and has a complaint, it's relaxin, right? Suddenly everyone knows everything about the hormone relaxin and they're like, for sure, that's the problem. But did you know that relaxin, it is a hormone. It's a hormone in men and women. And it has several roles, not just surrounding the pelvic ligaments or the cervix, which it does help to promote more movement in those areas. But it has more jobs than just that. It also plays a role in cardiovascular function for males and females. It influences the smooth muscle in male and female bodies, and it facilitates collagen reformation or remodeling. So there's a lot to relaxin. And first of all, I just find that very interesting because most of us, again, medical and general population, kind of think that relaxin is the pregnancy hormone, and we only have it when we're pregnant. But that's not the case. Males and females have it in their systems throughout. So, anyway, the belief surrounding relaxin is that, of course, it relaxes the pelvic ligaments. We've all heard that, right? Well, and if the pelvic ligaments are relaxed and then our weight shifts anteriorly, then in the backside, that's going to create some, quote, instability or an increased load, at least, on the SIJ. And with that more hyperlordotic posture and more load on the SIJ and on those posterior ligaments, then we have a painful experience. And that's kind of the mathematical equation for pain during pregnancy for a pregnant person. Pain during pregnancy. There's a lot of things with that when you say it out loud that really kind of don't resonate with how we talk about back pain now. Like we're in 2021. If you've been to any of our spine courses, like it's not like we can have some mathematical equation and kind of understand that back pain. We've got to go through our process and we've got to get to the bottom of it. And that's what I'm arguing we all need to do for these pregnant people. It's not just relaxin. Actually, the first study to look at this was back in the mid-80s. There were 36 people in the article, in the study, and they were looking and found a correlation between pain and relaxin. But since then, there have not been any sort of consistencies surrounding this. In fact, we actually have a systematic review. Now, it's looking at relaxin and pelvic girdle pain, which is different than low back pain. But it found that out of 3 out of the 4 high quality studies, they couldn't find any correlation. So again, with the kind of like easy mathematical equation or the black and white, like I think that's why this message, it just stuck. We like black and white. We love answers. So if we can have someone come to us and say, I am pregnant, I have back pain, we say, oh, it's relaxin, it will go away with delivery, then that's easy. And the load is then off of us. We don't have to figure out their back pain because it's the relaxin. We've known in the literature now for a decade that it's not relaxin. There's not enough consistent literature to show us that the relaxin increase during pregnancy, it just has not been correlated to the painful experiences that pregnant people are having with their low back and with their pelvis. So let's stop saying that it's relaxin, and let's stop persisting that myth forward so that we can help individuals get the care that they need. So that was myth number 1. Myth number 2, weight gain. It's normal to gain weight during pregnancy. Somewhere around 25 to 35 is considered normal, pounds that is. If it was weight gain that caused low back pain, wouldn't we have 100% of all of our pregnant people with back pain? It would have to be 100% if that logic were true, but it's not. About 20% or so of people actually get through pregnancy without back pain, but they still gain the weight. It's pregnancy. That's what occurs. So the theory is that increased weight gain, of course, increases load on the spine and on the pelvic joints, therefore creating a painful experience in the low back. And there is some merit here, don't get me wrong. Like, if we have increased weight, then we're going to have increased load, specifically surrounding like the hips. I'm thinking like while we're walking in that single leg stance phase, that glute med does have an increased load. And I can understand in a world where if our glute med is not strong enough to withstand the increased load, then we're going to have that Trendelenburg sign. And when we have that Trendelenburg sign, then our lumbar stabilizers are working more and they're working differently than they did when we didn't move in that abnormal way. I can see how then if our back is moving abnormally, not to mention the increased load around the back with the transverse abdominis increasing in size, like I can understand all of that. Biomechanically that does make sense, but is that really the whole picture? And if that is the whole picture, then shouldn't we say that it's a lack of strength rather than the increased load? Because some people have stronger hips and have stronger backs going into pregnancy, and they don't have this experience. They too have an increased load. So I think we need to take it a bit deeper and really understand that it's not that increased load that's the problem. It's the inability to work with that increased load. That's the problem. Because again, if it's the increased load, then shouldn't they have bilateral knee pain and ankle pain as well? Because all of the lower extremity joints have increased load with them. So honestly, when I've got someone coming in, oftentimes I'm dispelling this myth in the clinic. They're saying, I've gained a lot of weight and my back probably hurts from that. And usually when they're saying this, they're really upset about it. They don't feel good about the weight that they're gaining. Even though it's completely normal, it does not feel good to see that scale creeping up, really in anyone. It's really challenging for pregnant people to go through that mentally. And so to add on top of that psychological discomfort that they're already having, to add on top of that, like, yeah, that's the reason why you're hurting. It's not true and it doesn't help anything. So again, myth number 2, they have pain because they're gaining weight. Not true. Not true at all. And we need to help women understand that. And the third one quickly here is the it will go away myth. And I'm just here to say we've got plenty of literature on persistent low back pain. And 50% of individuals still have their low back pain 1 year postpartum. And 20% are going to still have it 3 years postpartum. In clinic, when you're really diving into a history of someone's back pain, oftentimes they're going to go back to when they were pregnant or after their delivery. And this can persist for years. It does not go away with delivery. We've got to start helping these people during pregnancy. Because if we don't address it now, in the beginning or in the middle or even in the end of their pregnancy, then we're just having them continue to have that back pain. And isn't pregnancy one of the best times to deal with this? Because when they're postpartum, everything changes. Their schedule is really, really hard, and they're not getting barely any sleep. And their food intake is who knows what because they're so concerned about taking care of their baby. All of these things just change during postpartum that make it really, really hard. Not impossible, but hard. So, why would we not address that during pregnancy? We really can't afford that to let these people just continue to go in pain, not when we have the skill set to help them. If they're in pain and their quality of life is low, then they're not in the gym, they're not with their friends, they're not getting stronger. They're doing all these things to help to make that postpartum experience even harder than we already know that it will be. So it is our duty to help them because it's not the relaxin. It's not their weight gain. And it's likely not going to go away during that postpartum period. The main problems that I have with these myths are that it just puts off care. Relaxin. I, as your physical therapist, cannot change the level of relaxin that is in your body. I cannot change how much weight you have gained, and I can't help you lose weight, not during pregnancy. And you're probably going to gain more weight. I can't change any of that. And I, of course, cannot increase the time or decrease rather the time until your delivery, right? We can't speed up that pregnancy. So these massive myths that are going around surrounding pregnant low back pain are all things that we cannot help with. So it's a problem that these messages are persisting because really, when it boils down to it, we can and we do help people who are pregnant eliminate, reduce their back pain. We can help them all day, every day. So we've got to dispel these myths so that they'll come into our office, so that they'll message us and tell us when their back is hurting, so that we can get them the care that they need, so that they can do the things that they enjoy, the things that they need to do. We do it every single day in clinic, and it is time for us all to come together and help these pregnant people and get them out of pain right now and do good things for our community. So do me a favor, share this with a colleague, share this with your community or your clinic. Let's get the word out that we can have care for back pain during pregnancy and that we should get that and we can have significant improvements. Thank you all for joining me this Monday morning. I hope this was helpful for you in your clinical practice. And catch us next time tomorrow on the PT on Ice Daily Show. Last but not least, a couple of announcements. Our January cohort starts January 3rd for the online clinical management of the fitness athlete, pregnancy and postpartum. We would love for you to join us. Also, it makes for a really good gift. So if you don't know what to ask for a gift, you can ask for these courses. And then in February, join us live in my clinic, which is in Hendersonville, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And we are doing our live course on pelvic floor. We're going to do an internal exam, and we're going to talk all things pregnancy, postpartum, pelvic floor, everything that starts with a P. And I hope that you will join us for that. There are several other live courses coming your way this year as well. So check those out. Go to our website, ptonice.com/courses. And have a wonderful Monday, everyone.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.